Joe and Alfredo?
No, he's
It's
right.
the fraction of light that is reflected by a body or surface.
But it is pronounced
it's about
albedo.
Astronomy.
It's about reflection.
Yeah.
Oh, it is albedo?
Yeah, I looked up the pronunciation. But he doesn't. Does he spell it that way? Albedo, or does he say albedo?
I don't know.
I
But
can't remember now.
I think he said, or somebody said that.
No, he says albedo, but he says Bina.
Ooh,
that's what's weird.
So I got
John
both of them wrong. That's what you're basically saying.
Yeah.
Well,
it's albedo and Bina.
It's not like I'm trying to pull a Brendan.
Oh, that's fucked up, John. Why do you gotta go there?
No, I'm saying I'm not trying to troll. That's my point.
Oh,
yeah, well, thesis,
and I contend that you don't ever troll. You're just a fucking moron.
He had to have been trolling.
Yo, Gus, I got your tablet today.
Well, yeah. I thought you got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna mail it tomorrow.
Are you gonna break the mic first?
No.
Yeah, Jack, we're sending people to put you on house arrest. So, you'll have to use the internet in a fucking building for a change.
Chat.
But no, I got it on Sunday. They deliver on Sunday. But yeah, I'll mail it to you.
Can you break the mic for us, Gus, when you get it?
I'll fucking break you.
I thought he was planning on not using. I thought he was planning on using a different mic.
I'm hoping.
Gus, you were loud and clear earlier.
But just use a broken mic.
This is starting to sound like a Bee Gees song. You know that? How can we bend a broken mic?
Actually, what's his name? Who's the guy? Yeah, but who does the Tonight Show?
Oh yeah,
Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon does an amazing Barry Gibb.
Yeah, him and
those were hilarious.
Justin Timberlake, those are so good.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake would do Robin.
He does a good
do Robin good. That shit was so funny. I'm gonna have to watch that later.
You got to give the Bee Gees their due. I mean, they weren't just the Hebe Bee Gees. They had a long line of good music behind them.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about their 60s music before they went disco, which was very innovative.
Is that what's called?
Yeah, I remember it was like folk music.
It's a terrible song.
John started a...
They were good though, but they were good.
And the whole clubhouse is laughing.
What's an album?
I like
have a lot of great songs.
I like their 70s disco stuff.
Yeah, the disco stuff was amazing,
really
but the early stuff was really great too.
Some of their duets
not as
in
well
the
known
80s
anymore.
that we don't hear about because they weren't really billed. Like the Bee Gees did a duet with Diana Ross. I think they ended up doing some work with Michael Jackson.
Oh, did they?
Remember that?
I think so.
But Barry Gibb did stuff with Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
Was that the 80s?
Yeah, that was A Star Is Born, but it was really late 70s, early 80s.
It must have been. I don't remember.
Yeah, the Diana Ross song was called Chain Reaction, but I think there were some other songs on that album that Diana Ross did a few duets with some pretty decent people. The 80s was a weird time for duets. Like, on the one hand of the spectrum, you had Julio Iglesias and fucking Willie Nelson, of all things. And then, but you also had like David Bowie doing a duet with Mick Jagger, State of Shock.
The worst music video ever fucking made, by the way.
Yes,
you know what? I actually kind of liked the video. I've never liked that song though.
It's so crazy.
He did a duet with Bing Crosby.
And to put a little sprinkle on top, there's
great.
Jackson 5 vocals on State of Shock. But it's sort of in that sort of... You can hear that in the background. Just the guitar starts to rock back and forth.
And he did a song with John Lennon.
I just recently saw...
Say.
I used to
No,
be.
No, that
Fame,
was
right? Is
no,
it
that was
Fame?
Paul McCarthy.
Fame?
Isn't that what it's called?
No.
Oh, wait. What? I
Are we
don't know who
talking
we're
about
talking
David
about
Bowie's
anymore.
Fame?
David Bowie did a song with John Lennon, right?
Oh, I don't
Oh,
know
I
about
don't. I didn't know that was with John Lennon.
I think so.
That would terrible.
I was thinking of Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You know,
exactly
he
what
did
I
some good
probably
duets with no, him and The Girl Is Mine and all that other stuff. It did pretty well, but what eventually killed that was that Michael Jackson bought all the rights to the Beatles music out from under Paul, and Paul never forgave him for that. Never talked to him again.
That's right. It was going on as they were doing the collaboration.
Like, talk about a slap in the sack, eh? Like, holy
So
fuck.
devious.
Yeah, why would you buy such terrible?
Oh, shut up.
I saw a duet with David Gilmour and Kate Bush singing the running up that hill song.
Just
And
selling
now
their
that
products.
Stranger Things,
Phil.
now that
He
Stranger
made a
Things
shitload of money off
reinflated that,
selling the
exhumed
rights
it.
to advertising.
Okay, listen. What do you listen to, buddy?
It's not her best song.
Phyllis
Well-
listens to ska
He
punk.
listens to the gnashing of teeth and Waylon Ellison.
Possession of data.
Existential crisis.
I don't even know if you can.
I can't match to this.
But actually, he also likes the Jackson 5
So he's probably
season.
equivocating a little
I
bit.
scared him away.
No.
Broadway musicals,
My audio cut out.
Jackson
Broadway
Five
musicals,
actually
and
was,
Disney soundtracks,
What kind of
and
music
John
do you like, Philip?
Williams.
My audio.
Jackson 5.
Wow.
He likes ska punk, the Four
Paul Williams?
Seasons. He likes ska punk, the Four Seasons, Jackson 5, Broadway musicals, Disney soundtracks, and John Williams.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can you
Well, I
feel
like
it?
Broadway musicals.
And he only likes 6 musical instruments, all of them made out of metal, half of them trombones.
I was going to say that they all the trombone.
He likes 3 different types of trombone, 2 types of saxophone, and the flute.
What
The
types of
trombones
saxophone?
remind me of
I think he likes
what's the-
alto
Spector's
and
Wall of
tenor.
Sound.
I mean tenor and baritone, rather. Tenor and baritone sax.
What? That's the right answer. Tenor and baritone.
That's, yeah. That,
Maybe
soprano
alto on a
sax
bad
is-
day.
nah, alto.
It's too high.
Yeah, that's even worse.
And soprano sounds like
Soprano and
Kenny
alto.
G. No,
Soprano
soprano
and
sounds
alto.
like Kenny G.
Soprano and alto.
No,
Can't-
not Kenny.
can't
G.
not hear Kenny G.
No.
No
No.
one's fucked to a soprano saxophone ever in the history of humankind.
Well, that's not true.
Careless Whispers, man. Come on.
What's the saxophone
Yeah.
that got used in that song "One of the Living" on the Beyond Thunderdome soundtrack? The one where the guy literally comes out and plays like a 2-minute straight like bridge with his sax, and I swear to God, dies afterwards. Do you remember?
Probably a
JJ, do you
tenor
remember the song I'm talking about?
I
I don't
don't.
hear it.
It's called "One of the Living" by Tina Turner from the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome soundtrack.
I don't remember that song. I remember the "We Don't Need Another Hero" song, but
Yeah, well, there was a couple of songs that were, I Don't Need Another Hero.
Well, what
was
about the band?
I don't Need Another Hero was the summer release, but the fall release was.
That might actually be a
One of the Living.
baritone, Gus.
What's that?
I think that's
Say
a
again?
baritone saxophone. Baritone.
Could be. I don't know. Nobody tells me nothing.
But what about the band Quarter Flat?
Well, I'm gonna harden my heart. I'm gonna swallow my tears.
With shit tons of saxophone.
I saw a TikTok of someone taking a saxophone mouthpiece and attaching it to a flute body and playing it, and the #1 comment was, "Congratulations, you made a clarinet." Can I
The guy
Kinda.
instantly turns Jewish.
Couldn't play the clarinet.
It might be a tenor, but I think it's a baritone.
What was that other big song? Oh yeah, the I Still Believe from the soundtrack for the Lost Boys. That really amped up. But I still believe, and then fucking saxophone. Pwah!
I want
I don't remember that.
to say it's a tenor sax.
It's called I can't remember the guy who did the song, but it's called I Still Believe. And it's one of those things where they have him performing it in the movie, and he's this jacked up, super swole, like fucking. He's like the Ultimate Warrior before there was the Ultimate Warrior, but he's just chewing up the scenery. It's hilarious.
It's a tenor saxophone playing a bunch of altissimo notes.
Altoid, are you a Blue Velvet fan?
Altisa, who notes?
Altissimo.
I watched it
I think
like
that
a
might
week
be my.
ago.
Did you? I should watch it again. It's probably my favorite David Lynch film.
How dare you, JJ? We talked about Dune the other day, and I thought
Dune is certainly not my favorite David Lynch film.
Oh,
I mean,
JJ, no.
It's the only movie of his
I really like
divorce.
I really like Wild at Heart
I really like
and Mulholland Drive, though.
Yeah, Mulholland Drive's pretty good.
I mean, what other director would take an audience in a sci-fi, and the very first panoramic view they get subjected to is a bunch of guys in German fun leather escorting a giant floating turd with eyeballs to see somebody named the Galactic Emperor. I mean, just going to leave that right there.
Well, Denny Villeneuve would do that.
Well, he didn't. But
Maybe.
But he might do that. But he just hasn't yet. Maybe.
I heard somebody describing the television show Atlanta is a TV show that David Lynch would make if he made a show about hip hop.
Yeah,
And if somebody
I think it
pulled the
diverged.
fucking drugs
This new
out of him-
season really changes it, though. This new
Oh, that
season's kind of like if the Twilight Zone was rebooted correctly,
Yeah.
and it's a hip hop show written by.
Picture,
Yeah.
if you will.
I think Donald Glover's
the
brother
rhythm sound.
described it as like if David Lynch made a show about hip hop. Yeah. Yeah, in the Twilight Zone. Yeah,
This new season was really good.
That was fantastic.
Picture, if you will, two brothers, one here, one there, caught in the Atlanta zone.
Sounds like too big a commitment.
What y'all think of season
30
2?
episodes.
What do I think of what? CZ what? Who?
Season 2 of Twin Peaks, or not season 2? The Twin Peaks kind of like rebirth.
Well,
It's pretty
I
great.
was never a big fan of Twin Peaks to begin with.
Oh, the
Twin
latest.
Peaks: The Return.
They did. I watched like 3 episodes and I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh,
It's
speaking of
pretty good.
surprisingly fun stuff, JJ, Malk, have you seen Prey yet?
I watched it, yesterday.
Not yet. Been watching Sandy.
How is that?
I found it
It's okay.
surprisingly good. I mean,
Yeah, Prey was awesome.
you
It was
strip
alright.
away a lot of the pretense of sort of the more modern engagements with the Yautze, and you're, basically left with a pretty
The what?
straightforward plot.
He's saying the proper word for what the predators are called in the universe.
The Yahoo?
It's like Yautja or Yautja, something like.
Yahoo what? The what?
If you read any of the books or the comic books, that's what they're called. The predators. That's what they're called.
So really, listen.
Well, I say Yautja.
really, listening to you two really
Okay.
is like watching two legless fucking jesters roll around on the floor. You know that?
Sounds like Ichuta.
You sound like you.
I really like Dan Trachtenberg too. Like he did with Cloverfield Lane, with 13 Cloverfield Lane or whatever was the other
Yeah.
one.
10.
Man.
He was doing a podcast like real early on, 2005 or 2006, with two other guys where they talk about comic books, TV shows, and movies called Geekdrome. Was pretty good.
Oh, that's cool.
What
Yeah,
I
I also
appreciate
watched
the-
Sandman. I also watched Sandman, and the thing is, like, I wasn't into Sandman comics at all. I didn't give a shit about Neil Gaiman when I was in my comic stage. That's not what I wanted out of comics. But watching the show, I mean, it looks pretty good.
Have you not read the
hit.
comics since? It's a masterpiece, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, whatever.
There's no well about it. It's a masterpiece.
I mean,
pretty good.
Masterpieces come and go. You know, it either somehow
Funny, Ray.
scares my interest or it doesn't.
I mean, that's all in the comics. What's in the show? The show's just streamlined, like so far, plot-wise.
How much did you watch, Gus?
I watched it all the way to the end of the season.
Oh, okay.
And
I haven't watched any of it yet. So.
I
Only
was
a 4
surprised
episode.
because with shows like that, I often have to just take a bit of a palate cleanse, like halfway through, just so that I'm not getting in that mode where I'm like, yes, I know you're going to say this. I know you're going to say that. Speed up. Get to the point. You know what I mean? Like, the fact is that there's only so many stories under the sun. And once you begin to see how they're put together, you get to see that, you know, if he says this, there's probably this kind of scene. I've seen that scene. I'm pretty sure how it's going to end. Let's go through it. Like, so in order to keep that from happening, I have to take a break and then go back but this one, I was able to hoover it all in fucking 10 episodes.
It provides its
All
own
through Saturday.
breaks, Gus. Right? Like the cast of 24/7 is like an entirely new cast for that episode.
Just because it's a good pacing?
No, because of the way the story is told.
Well,
You should read.
there's only one story, Gus.
Three Little Pigs.
Is it your story, JJ? Is it your
It's
story?
only one
JJ?
story.
Is it your story?
No.
Okay.
The Martian Manhunter never shows up, right?
Fuck off!
That was the worst part about the original Sandman is they're doing all this interesting shit with this character that no one's heard of, and then we got to drag stupid ass Martian Manhunter into this beautiful piece of artwork. Oh, right. DC owns these properties. Got it. Okay. All right. Can we get back to the good shit now?
Well, he's not the only character.
Well, I'm waiting to see what happens when they start mixing.
No,
in
he's
Dr.
barely
Fate
in
and
it.
Black Adam.
No, I'm just saying that Gaiman dragged a bunch of other characters into his story.
Yeah, I'm not going to spoil any of that.
Are you talking about the Zack Snyder Justice League?
He did in the original. It's mostly those characters that were kind of like the Crypt Keeper, like Cain and Abel were like hosts, like they're like horror hosts, and he used Cain and Abel, and he used the Three Witches, a few others, but
Spoilers.
The movie was embarrassing.
The Thing? The Justice League?
Yeah.
Lame. No,
kick everyone.
lame.
You're a serious fucking downer, you aren't you? I'm gonna have to watch out for you, man.
Wait, Philip, are you talking about the original or the Snyder cut, or both?
Both.
Snyder Cut, I thought, was a pretty decent film.
Well, it was better than the original.
The color
Give you that.
version. Well,
Yeah.
well, they're functionally completely different movies, right? They have a totally different plot. Like, the conceptualization of the villain is totally different. The way he's rendered, like, they're totally different.
A completely different amount of snark and joke statements from fucking Joss Whedon. Hate that.
Yeah, he's hit or miss. Mostly miss. fiasco.
I mean, he gets credit with how like since the Avengers, how kind of like the superhero movies have been put out there, but damn it, every movie since then has just been crap.
Wow.
The Avengers is the only Joss Whedon movie I can stand. Like the rest of them.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's like the Avengers is like the first time you get a taste of it, and it's like, oh, this is kind of like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but a little bit better. And then it just keeps on doing the same fucking thing.
Everything's better than Buffy.
You could just bet your ass that they took Joss Whedon aside and said, now listen, you are not going to get rid of all the fucking characters and replace them with women. Okay? Just get that right out of your fucking head right now.
Uh-oh.
You can just... Buffy the Vampire Slayer was a good show, but the only problem I had was that every time there was like he was going to achieve more gravitas, he was either fucking killed or thrown off the show, or in some cases given his own spinoff, or sent to the spinoff.
In one case, okay. I think this is 2 cases.
I think we have a Spuffy fanfic reader in the room.
Spuffy?
Yeah, Spike and Buffy.
Oh.
That was their ship name.
What fanfic, for fuck's sakes, they put it on the screen?
I don't have to put up with that every time I want to go into it.
I think it was some fucking garbage.
I think I read something that they were going to kill off Spike, like in the first season that he was there, and that they only kept him for...
I'm a crucifixion, and that would be agape love, but actually being crucified would not be.
Which is so loved by the audience.
Did you just miss what I said?
I didn't get that, but whatever.
Because your question doesn't represent understanding what it...
No, I did not watch that shit, except when I was forced to, a couple times. But I did really like Firefly.
I'm pretty sure it
can't steer me away from Firefly.
Serenity is a garbage movie.
I went to the Bible and I looked up the verse. I think it was Matthew chapter 7. It was in Matthew. And it was like, don't be afraid of those, you know the verse, like, that can take away your flesh, but be aware. I forgot how it goes, guys. You know what I'm talking about? Be fearful of the one who can take both body and soul. And it's like, people are going to try to, like, scare you, but we can't be afraid of them. But we have to also be wise. So being wise is not putting our information out there. Even if it's cringe putting Lily Rose on here, I do it because I need to protect myself, and I have to hold fast to what God has, like, given me. And I'm not trying to, like, I'm just trying to say, like, and I'm always here, like, if you need help.
On the other hand, the guy whose name Nick Stahl is excellent.
I'm not going to say excellent. Christian Bale is definitely the best John Connor. But
That's false.
He's not.
No,